Alright, everybody, welcome to Oblivion Remastered, brand new Shadow Drop as of today, April 22nd, 2025. Bethesda has just announced this game. It's on Xbox Game Pass, it's on Steam, it's on Xbox, PS5. I am playing using PC Game Pass on my PC, hence the benchmarks here. I've got my RX 9070, my i5-12600KF, and we are seeing what kind of performance this game has to offer. Can my hardware handle ultra settings at 1440p? I am in 1440p right now, and we're going to mess around with the settings. We're going to see what we can get out of this game. I've been playing around. I got through the whole sewer initial dungeon area. I wanted to get outside before I started really benchmarking because I want all the graphical fidelity I can get, all the textures, everything that's been updated. I want to really be out here to really push this thing to its limit. So let's jump into the settings to start with. We are starting with, we're in 1440p. VSync is off. We got an uncapped frame rate. And if we scroll down, we are on ultra settings across the board here. We got Lumen software ray tracing quality low right now. I can't turn this off at all. It's just set to low. We'll mess around with hardware and software ray tracing in a little bit. I do have FSR set to native right now. Sharpness is 0 just because it's native. No frame gen. And this is what we're getting. We're getting around 43, 44, sometimes 50 FPS out here. Dipping down here. Let me start the recording. We can see the highs and the lows, and it's not great, I'll be honest. It's not awesome. For a brand new GPU like this, I would hope we'd at least get 60 on Ultra 1440p, but obviously I can lower settings down. Oh, we got a crab. A mud crab. Now, I've never played this game before, and it's interesting so far. The combat is very basic. I'm used to modern Souls-like games. I've been playing the first Berserker Kazan, where the combat is just insane, and this is literally like aim and press button, and it's pretty simplistic. But I know this is more of a fantasy RPG story narrative type game, so I'm gonna give it a chance, after I benchmark it and see if it's something that I vibe with or not. But anyway, this is what we get with kind of native settings ultra. Now, if we turn FSR on, which I will do here, let's go quality and apply that and see. Just reset the recordings. Now that gives us about 30 FPS right off the bat just by setting FSR to quality. I can tell it's so much smoother. I do not see much of a change in the graphical fidelity. Everything looks good still, I would say. Detail's still there. It's not very blurry or fuzzy. From what I can tell, just running around this area so far, we'll come over here. We'll check out some new. We'll check out the water. That you can see everything in detail in the background, which is great. You can see the snow on the mountains. Really pretty cool. I mean, the visuals are great. I can already tell they did a great job with this remaster. Even though I've never played the original, this seems up to standard with your modern day games. All right, I think I do have a fireball spell. No, I don't have a fireball spell on right now. So I gotta kill you with my sword, imp. And what does he have to offer me? Imp Gall. Okay, great. Wonderful. Okay, so a max of 90 and a 1% low of 30. So a little dippage there, which isn't great, but I didn't really notice it. So I'm not going to complain about that. Now what happens if we turn on frame generation with these settings? Let's check that out. Turn that right on, apply those changes. Do we get a huge uptick in frames? We do. Now we're way above 100. We're at 130, 125. I definitely can tell. Seems a lot smoother. Look at that 1% low though, 23. Let me start the recording again. Every time I start the recording, it starts at 17. I'm not seeing any dips though. Personally, it's saying that the 1% low is very low, but I didn't really notice a stutter or a dip or anything. I'm going to run by that crab there. The 1% low is going up, interestingly enough. And we're not fully utilizing the GPU. We're at 85%. The CPU's at 50. Could potentially be a CPU bottleneck of some sort. Not entirely sure. Especially because we're using frame generation. That does require more utilization from the CPU. But it's very playable. I mean, it looks great. Again, I'm not seeing a ton of blurriness or anything like that. We're just running around just fine. And this is probably the way I would play this game, with these settings right here. Just keep it nice and smooth. Graphics look perfectly fine. But we're going to tinker even more. We're going to tinker even more here. Let's see, what do we want to do? Do we want to try... I'll bump up the software ray tracing to high. We'll keep everything else with FSR quality and frame gen on. And yes, we want to confirm those changes. Restart the recording. Alright, this crab is following me around. I suppose I should do my thing here. Also, I need to play this game in third-person mode. I am just not a fan of first-person games. First-person shooters, fine, but first-person RPGs just feels weird to me. I'm sure I could get used to it, but I'm used to my Souls-likes and my Elden Rings and everything third-person, so that's why I am playing it this way, if you were questioning that. But this is decent. I don't notice a ton different. You know, let's look at the water here. I guess the reflections look pretty good. Dynamic, I suppose, as dynamic as maybe they could be with these settings. Is there another bad guy? Oh, we got a chest. A little gold. I think that's the first gold I've found. But the water looks good, and the reflections look great. I mean, the detail's really amazing, I gotta say. Can't complain about that. We're getting around 130 FPS on average. Let's change the ray tracing to hardware. See if that does much to our performance here. So let's go Lumen hardware ray tracing. Let's turn that on. And let's just crank it up. Why not? Let's get it all the way to Ultra. We still have FSR quality, and we still have frame gen on. And definitely take a performance hit. You know, we're in the 100 to high 80s, low 100 range. It's kind of all over the place. Do we notice a difference in quality? It's kind of hard to tell. Oh, I'm over encumbered, so I'm slow now. Everything looks similar to me. I can't say that I'm noticing a huge difference. Let me drop some inventory here. Let's see, I got 2 clubs. Let's drop this one. What else do I have a lot of? Cheese wheel, meat crab. I don't even know what I should be keeping or getting rid of. Bear pelt, amulet of rings. Where's my weight? This club's pretty heavy. Is that all I needed to drop? No, I'm still over encumbered. Hold on. Weight of 8. Wait, I've got 2 axes. Let's get rid of this one. Whoops. Oh, I got rid of 2. Still over encumbered. Okay, that's not good. I'd like to be able to run. Let's see. What's heavy here? Like 2.5. None of this stuff's very heavy. Wolf pelt, I guess. Bear pelt, I'll drop that. Club, again. I kind of want to keep some of the weapons. Alright, I have a bunch of these Mythic Dawn hoods. Let's drop 5 of them. That's probably why I'm so over encumbered. There we go, I can run again. Alright, I'm not going to pick anything else up for the rest of this benchmark here. I mean, we're getting 100 FPS. With ray tracing hardware set to high. The GPU still is not completely fully utilized. We're between 83 and 95% it seems. But the FPS is fine. The 1% lows are definitely low. I'm not noticing those dips or those stutters at all while I'm playing. So that's good, even though the you know, the 1% low is saying it's low there. So pretty decent. Now if we want to maximize FPS here, we should be able to do that. Let's go check out our settings again, and let's make everything just high settings, and we'll turn ray tracing just to low here. We'll keep it on the hardware. FSR quality and frame gen on. Let's just see what that does for us. Not as much as I was expecting. We're still in the hundreds for the most part. Which is interesting. Now, can I go in here? Now, if we go inside, I expect we're going to get some higher FPS numbers. Cutscene, obviously. Wonderful FPS. Okay, we're actually under 100. So not as good as I was expecting. Maybe because of all the NPCs and things, it's, you know, CPU bottlenecking a bit here. That very well could be the case. My CPU is on the older side. Obviously, the 12600KF is a good, you know, mid-range CPU still, but, you know, it's not the best of the best for gaming. Especially to pair with this GPU, which is pretty new. I mean, it's a month and a half old GPU. It's not the 9070 XT, it's just the baseline 9070, but still, I've been not having problems getting high FPS in games. So let's see if we can change things around a little bit again. We'll go medium settings. Let's turn Lumen ray tracing off. Turn software ray tracing to low. Let's just do performance FSR with frame gen, and I would expect a big jump here. But still hovering around 100. So not much is changing, honestly. I can tell the graphics look worse. That's easy to tell. We did hit 135 there. I did notice that stutter. Definitely got a stutter there. I wonder if frame generation is hurting me a little bit.
How goes it?
We did get up to 156 just then. But I wouldn't want to play like this. I don't want the, you know, the lesser graphics and the weird stutters. So I think some of my issues might be with frame generation. I'm actually going to turn that off. I don't always love playing with frame generation on. We'll just do FSR performance with FSR with medium settings here. All right, we're getting mid-70s. It's kind of all over the place, to be honest with you. It's, you know, 1% low of 5 and a high of 113. So we're definitely all over the place in terms of what we're getting here. Now, I don't know if that's an optimization issue, if it's my bottleneck.
You have my ears.
Would love to be getting, you know, full GPU utilization here, which I'm just not getting. We're getting around 89% right there. So, obviously this is very playable. This is kind of nitpicking on what my hardware can do here. Let's go back outside.
You have my ears.
Things seemed a little better outside. I was surprised. But it could be all the NPCs that are inside that are causing some issues there. Okay, back outside. Let's restart the recording. Alright, getting 80s, 90s. Yeah, it is better outside. We're getting in the 90s and 100s here if we go this way. Okay, there's a prison I can go in. Also, I would not want to play on medium settings. I want to play on ultra. This is an ultra 1440p card. I should be able to play the game that way. Let's get it back to ultra. And Lumen hardware is off. Lumen software is on low. FSR performance. I also want to use quality. I haven't messed with the sharpness. We can try a little sharper image. Let's get sharpness all the way up and see what that does for us. Definitely sharper, I can tell. Getting around 75, 80 FPS that way. I don't love playing games super sharp personally. I like a little bit of a softer edge. But it looks good. I mean, you can tell the sharpness is there. I mean, respectable frame rate. Obviously, I'd like it to be higher, but it is what it is here. We're using more of the GPU when we do that, so that's good news. And these are the settings I would use with this combination. Just because the CPU is a little bit older, I would want to utilize my GPU more than my CPU. So having frame gen off will frame gen off will do that for me. But let's change the sharpness back again. Let's get that like to 50, let's say. Apply those changes. And how does that look? Oh, we're getting some artifacting and stutters, and that does not look good. Okay, now how do we balance out? We're getting in the 50s. Hey, hold on, it doesn't like that. Make it a little less sharp again. Frame generation's not on. Usually I see that stuff when frame generation's on, but right now we do not have frame generation on, so yeah, it didn't like those changes. Didn't like those changes at all. Let me try VSync on. See if that helps me out a little. Nope. Getting the weird stutters here. Don't love that. Screen space reflections, turn that off. Still on ultra. I want to keep ultra on. Hardware's off low. FSR. Let's just go to native for a second. Turn the sharpness all the way down again. Okay, we're back to... No, it's still kind of stuttery. It's a little better. Okay, we're getting around 50 FPS. This looks back to normal-ish. That was very strange before. Let's see if I can kick it back up to quality. Apply those changes. No, something's messed up. I'm going to quit to the main menu because it is not liking this right now. So that's fine. I haven't really made any progress. I'm just running around right now, so. Alright, continue please. Might be some optimization they still need to do on PC here. I can't imagine it's totally my hardware that's causing this. Oh, I'm still getting the weird stutters. That's strange because it was totally fine before. And now we're getting this. So something's up. Something's up with this. I don't know quite what it is. Let's see if I can just change settings enough to get it to be a smoother experience. I'll change everything back to, we'll go high. Let me turn FSR just off. We'll do TSR. No, something's a little buggy here. I probably honestly need to close the game out and restart, but which I will do. So anyway, hopefully this gives you a good idea of what you can expect with this game. If you're playing on PC, obviously, you know, if you have an RX 9070 and an i5-12600KF, you can expect performance like this. If you have similar specs, you know, probably can expect similar results as well. Hopefully this is just a me issue and not a game issue. I don't know. I will need to figure this out, but Anyway, thank you all for watching. Hopefully this is helpful. If you're looking to play this new remastered game, be sure to check it out. And I guess I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.